Hey, Democrat who supports Obama. Hopefully that will end. Dominic, Detroit, Michigan, the great WJR. Now, Dominic, do you live in Detroit or are you outside of Detroit?
I live in a northern suburb of Detroit, but I attend Wayne State University in Midtown, Detroit.
I mean, Detroit is like a magnificent city at the turn of the last century.
Absolutely.
Hold on now. It was the pearl of capitalism. Now it's the pearl of the consequences of big government.
Don't even go there, not at all. The 67 riots are what caused the downfall.
Oh, I see. And what about the 67 riots in New York and Philadelphia and L.A. and so many of the other cities? It's not the 67 riots.
The largest race riots in the history of our country until 1991. That is what caused the downfall of Detroit.
You're exactly wrong. It didn't help, but it didn't cause the... Pal, I'm trying to educate you. It didn't help, but you're wrong about that. A lot of these cities and a lot of the inner parts of a number of cities, inner cities, have had a new lease on life because they attract entrepreneurship. They have tax systems and so forth that attract it. Detroit has never gone in that direction. Detroit has had corrupt mayor after corrupt mayor.
Agreed.
Democrat bosses after Democrat bosses. It is a big government petri dish.
Mark, to say that, it sounds like a great talking point, but it is ignoring
It's not a talking point. I'm very well informed about Detroit because Detroit used to be the capitalist center of the world. It used to be the most productive area in the world.
It was the arsenal of democracy, you're right. But when's the last time you've been here?
I was there about 3-4 years ago.
3-4 years ago. Are you aware of all the good news that is now coming out of Detroit, and it is still run by Democrats?
Let me tell you something. Detroit's going to hell, and it's not because of the people. Because of the government.
Are you aware?
You have to be completely blind to this, and you tell me you go to school right there, right?
Yes, and I am not denying that there are problems with the city.
It's teetering. It's not problems. You're teetering on bankruptcy. The state has considered over and over again taking the city over. What are you talking about?
There's a consent agreement that's going to go between the city and the government.
Oh, I see. Well, then it's doing swell.
Government. But are you aware of all the good things that are coming out of the city?
I'm sure there are great things coming out of Detroit. The problem is not enough.
And it's still run by Democrats. And there are still.
Let me explain something to you. Detroit is depopulating itself. People are leaving. And there's a reason. What's the reason people are leaving Detroit, Dominic?
What was that?
Okay. Detroit is depopulating itself.
Yes.
Why?
Why is Detroit? People,
all right, let's cut to the chase, baby. What? Well, that's what depopulation means. Why?
Why are they leaving?
Okay, this is delay. Why are people leaving Detroit, Dominic?
They are leaving Detroit because they are moving to the suburbs.
Oh,
because
okay.
It is no longer a place that they want to live.
I got that. But we have other cities like parts of Washington now where people are moving in.
There is actually a housing shortage.
When's the last time you were in Washington, D.C.?
Mark.
Hold on, pal. No. Follow me. I'm going to lead you to the promised land. When's the last time you were in Washington, D.C.?
I've never been to Washington, D.C.
All right. Well, Washington, D.C. is not depopulating. The population's actually increasing. Why is that?
I would have to probably go there to see, but I'm not quite sure.
No, you don't have to go there to see. I wasn't at the Civil War, but I know what took place at the Civil War. No, I can tell you why.
Why?
Because there are things going on there, and Washington, D.C. in many respects is not run properly, but the prior mayor did a very good job. Because there are things going on there to try and attract people and keep people there, whereas Detroit, there's not enough going on there to keep people there.
Are you aware
hold on now, and people live and move with their feet. Go ahead.
Are you aware that there's a housing shortage in Detroit right now because people are buying up houses and moving in?
Let me explain something. Nobody's buying your crap.
Yes, they are buying.
The reason there's a housing shortage is because they have to keep excuse me, tearing down the houses in the deteriorating neighborhoods. What do you mean we lost them? Oh, good Lord. Now, I want you to open your mic, Mr. Producer, and tell everybody we lost him. Are you still there, Dominic?
Yes, I'm still here.
Thank goodness. I don't want people to think I'm hanging up on you. How about you let me take a break and we'll come back? Can you hang on?
I will.
All right, we'll be right back. By the way, just to address one of his points before he interrupts me. Remember Dresden was bombed off the face of the earth, mostly by the British? Dresden today has a bigger population than it did before World War II. It's a modern industrial city. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, where we dropped our atomic bombs, and they were wiped off the face of the earth for all intents and purposes. Large auto industries there, Mazda, Mitsubishi. Each city has almost 1 million people. This college student here, Dominic, you there? You're talking about the riots 45 years ago. I mean, you understand how foolish this sounds, right?
No, I do not. It is
that's part of the problem.
Mark,
I just told you 2 Japanese cities flattened by atomic bombs have almost 1 million population each, and Mazda and Mitsubishi, large auto industries there. Our auto industries have been dying in Detroit. I also explained to you that Dresden, which was blown off the face of the earth with conventional bombs, it's got a bigger population now than it did before World War II, and you're talking about the riots in 1967.
So you're denying that the 67 riots had no effect on Detroit. Is that what you're saying?
I am telling you, my friend, pal, the problem is you're so stubborn. You're so incapable of learning. You're so incapable of thinking for yourself that you hold on now, lower him down. That you insist on believing something that's not true. The fact of the matter is that we had riots in a number of our cities. But let's say Detroit was the worst. Detroit was not blown off the face of the earth. Detroit has very good people in it. And but for government policy, top-down authoritarian government policy, and crooked crony mayors and a crooked Democrat Party, a one-party system, perhaps Detroit would be thriving today. But for you, there's a snapshot of 1967, and that's enough, because you're a liberal.
No, to say that Detroit failed because of big government policies.
And let me tell you something else. I'm not really here to listen to stupid. I'm here to try and educate you, all right? I'm trying to tell you, pal, that human beings, whomever they are, whatever their race, whatever their wealth, whatever, they want liberty. They want prosperity. But if government creates smothering conditions where you can't start a small business, where you can't do things that need to be done for a city to recover, it's not going to recover. And I don't need you to tell me otherwise, because history and, frankly, modern cities tell us otherwise.